welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 3 of Dinkin and Dakin. Ray.
What? Oh, we're filming?
Yes,
Why?
yes,
Why
we're
would we?
filming.
Why would we be filming? Nothing happened last night. I must have been sleeping. Did something happen? I'm really confused. What happened?
2 6-6 teams clashed, and Mitchell Trubisky won.
Remind me, who's Mitchell Trubisky again?
I don't know. That's a good question.
And who did he beat?
Dink and Dak.
Oh wait, I think I did watch that game. He plays for the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
I hate my team.
I will give you the floor on this one.
You know, as I watched that game, and I watched the Cowboys go right down the field for their first drive, 17-play drive, over almost 11 minutes. I was like, maybe it'll be different. They're running the ball. They're doing all of the correct things that you need to do to win a football game. And they even got, what did they get on the Bears' first drive?
I have no idea. What's the game?
Oh yeah,
I had a
concert.
choir concert yesterday, so
He was not working. He might be replaced soon because he's missing games. He has to become prepared once again. Got the notes right here.
you all watched the last episode, I'm sure, if you're back for episode 3. And yes, he had notes. I still pulled up stats. I still made arguments. Just saying, I didn't have to be.
This doesn't count as notes. This counts as being flustered and pulling things up immediately just to try and get some sort of credible argument.
Really,
out.
my entire Eagles argument didn't come from this.
Yeah, it just came out of.
That came from mustered up.
It came out of nothing. I don't know why you were angry.
Mustered up anxiety for a team that's like literally struggling. That's why we titled the episode "Eagles on the Brink." Like the fact that the Cowboys are 6-5. No, sorry, 6-7. 6-7.
It's even worse than we imagined.
And in first place in that division, boy, maybe they'll make the playoffs, but whoever wins that division is going to get annihilated by the loser of the NFC West.
But anyway, back to what I was saying.
Carry on.
I think, yes, they even got the interception, but guess where they got the interception? At their own 1-yard line. But that doesn't matter. Anyway, the Dallas Cowboys, they lost last night's game, 31-24. I believe I'm very confident that was the final score.
That was the final score.
31-24. See, when you decide that the season's over, like I did last week when they lost on Thanksgiving, which we did not talk about because Thanksgiving break, I decided, this is a snooze fest season, and I will no longer care because one, even if they do make the playoffs, it's not going to end in anything satisfactory. 2, I don't care, and 3, I don't care. But anyway, some takeaways from last night. I'm sure that some of our listeners know what Pro Football Focus is. Just the stats, people put numbers and rank quarterbacks and players and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, Pro Football Focus, going into that game, Dak Prescott, second most valuable player. Let me finish. I'm reclaiming my time. Second most valuable player. I came up with this acronym. Actually, Shannon Sharp created the acronym, but I am borrowing it. WAR. Wins above replacement. Not entirely sure what that means. I'm sure I'll figure it out by the end of this video. But anyway, 10 of 22. Passing 110 yards while the game was close. In other words, when the Bears were scoring their 24 unanswered points, Dak Prescott was going 10 for 22 for 110 yards. No touchdowns, no picks. Then, let's fast forward to the fourth quarter, maybe 6 minutes left in the game. He goes for 17 of 27, 224, and a touchdown. RJ,
So all of his stats
I will allow you to speak and ask you this question. What does that mean?
All the stats are in garbage time.
Absolutely.
That's why they keep clinging to the Cowboys as the number one offense when the first 3 weeks of the season when they were putting up such numbers like that were because they were playing the Giants, the Redskins, and the Dolphins in that order.
Absolutely. And I might have to change my nickname for Dak from Dinkin and Dakin because he does put up, numbers, but they are fake numbers. I might have to change it to Dak Garbage Time Prescott because all of his stats and when he looks so great is in garbage time. For example, RJ, I believe you did see the throw where he threw it up to I think it was Gal. Yeah, I don't know who it was.
Like
I forgot.
Right before the field goal?
Right before the field goal where he tossed the 19-yard touchdown to somebody, I forget who it was. But it was a perfect throw. I will not criticize him for that, but
obviously
where
to
was
no
that
avail.
In the first, second, third quarter? When you were missing receivers, throwing it behind them, throwing it into the ground, throwing it over their heads, throwing it to when they weren't even looking, first of all. That happened. And then on another throw on the drive where they forced a turnover, by the way, their first turnover in like 200 defensive snaps,
wow.
Which is pretty sad. But their first turnover, backed up at the 1 yard line, 3rd and 8, Dak drops back to pass. They run a curl route, I think it was with Gallup. I see the receiver break off his route, and it takes Dak a second and a half to throw the football. By then, Kyle Fuller has already broken on the football and drops a sure pick six. So if that had happened, we might not even be having this podcast because I might still be, upset and really sad because then that would be a 38 to 24 and possibly not even 24 because at that point, why would you even try?
But his numbers would have looked better because there would have been even more garbage time.
Oh, that's true. There would be more garbage time. He might have had 400 yards passing. Who knows? But anyway, he is the number one quarterback. He is leading the league in passing yards, and all of his passing yards come when the game is over.
Why did they have to make the ranks based on just stats, not how well their team is doing, and how well the stats are actually going to benefit their team?
That is an excellent question.
Because they literally have Dak ranked as the number 6 quarterback right now. Number 6 or 7. Like, when they go through the QB power rankings. And there is absolutely no way that Dak Prescott is playing better football than Ryan Tannehill or Josh Allen. There's absolutely no way.
No, because
and even Ryan Fitzpatrick. But because of those yards,
0-6 against 500 or better teams. 0-6.
That's how the season goes.
You tell me if that is a good quarterback.
Here's a good news for you is that the Eagles are not an above 500 team, so you should be able to beat them.
Yeah, but at this point, the Cowboys have quit on their coach. They have quit on their quarterback. Their quarterback goes up to the podium and says the exact same thing. We believe in ourselves. We just got to execute better. Really?
Well, the execution starts with you.
Because you have lost to the good teams. I mean, the Bears are. I don't know what the Bears are. They're just 7-6 and they have a winning record. But they
were
lost
500. They were
to
500.
500 or better teams. And you're going up to the podium and saying, "Hey, we just got to execute better. We believe in ourselves. We just got to play better on the field." Well, why aren't you doing it? Why are you waiting until 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter to throw the football well?
I saw a news story earlier that the Cowboys are showing major interest in Urban Meyer. Yeah, and they haven't even fired Garrett. I saw 5 candidates to take Garrett's spot. I'm like, did he actually get fired? Did they actually pull the trigger on it?
No, they
would. But they're like, no, they haven't. And the article was like, at this point, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when Jerry Jones decides to fire Jason Garrett. Because if you look at Garrett on the sideline, literally, he's just like this.
And then they show Jerry up in the booth or up in his box, and he's all upset and like, why am I watching this garbage? And Jerry even said, I wrote this quote down too. He said, "Don't let the final score fool you. They beat us more than the final score says." What does that tell you? Garbage time. And Jerry knows it, and the fans know it. Only the delusional fans. I will not name names.
Well, it doesn't take a genius to see that they're putting up a bunch of stats when the game's already out of hand.
It actually does. It takes a very smart person to do that because there are a lot of people, and I can think of a few that would say, "Oh, Dak did a really good job bringing his team to the brink of success, pulling off an incredible comeback against Mitchell Trubisky."
I know exactly who you're referring to.
Dude, the game was over. There was 6 minutes left. But would you like to hear some analogies?
This is your team. This is your floor right now.
No, I'm asking. Would you like to hear some funny analogies?
Fine.
Viewers, I'm sure you would love to hear these analogies.
I mean,
all right. Here's the first one. All right. You know who Dak reminds me of? A college student. Why did I think of a college student? Because we are college students. Dak Prescott is the student who has a 12-page paper. His first 3 pages are flawless, absolutely perfect, meets the requirements perfectly. Then the next 6 pages are absolutely abysmal. There's no citation, there's no sources cited. He doesn't even know what he's writing. There are grammar mistakes all over the place. And then he comes back the last 3 pages, because it's a 12-page paper, and he ties it up very well in his conclusion. Well, Dak, you still failed the paper because you lost. You still failed because most of the game, or most of the paper, was really trash, and comparing that to the game, you still lost because you weren't doing anything the first 3 quarters. All right, here's another one.
I'm down with that.
Here's another one. This is business related. Imagine you make $10 million, and then you lose $100 million, but then you gain back $50 million. How much money do you have?
You're still down.
You're still down.
You're still
in a hole.
down.
Hey Dak, just because you gain 24 points back doesn't mean that you earned some sort of applause. You still lost the game.
I'll give you applause
and you
for
look
that.
terrible.
That was very well said.
And you look terrible while doing it.
No one gives respect for anyone that puts up numbers in garbage time. The only people that do, statisticians. Those are the only people that give respect to those in garbage time because it gives them more to put on their spreadsheets.
Yeah, and Skip Bayless literally, he was trying to defend Dak for putting up 224 in the 4th quarter when the Bears were playing not to lose, playing deep coverage, letting very easy, not even blanket coverage. They were just playing back coverage, letting the receivers run free, trying to get the game over, not get anyone hurt. And it showed because they went right down the field. They were huge. Their receivers wide open. And even the touchdown that he threw, it was 19 yards. It wasn't a deep ball. It was a 19-yard throw. He just threw it really high.
Yeah.
Made it look farther than it was. But anyway, that's where we are. We got a quarterback who makes his living in garbage time. And honestly, Jerry, might want to consider franchising the man, or just saying, hey, you want to play here? You're going to take less money or you're out.
See, I wouldn't know what it's like to have quarterback problems.
What?
The reason it's relevant, and he's going to say, oh, that's completely irrelevant, is that they beat an NFC East team.
I was going to say that since it's not his birthday anymore, I can trash him.
Can you try? Let me give you his rundown from the last game. So, and also I see this news story that the upcoming game between the Packers and the Redskins, where the 3-9 Redskins are planning on going up to Lambeau and applying pressure to Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, if the Redskins win, they could be a sneaky pick to win the NFC East at this point.
If the Redskins win, the Packers season is over.
Ooh, can I hold you
Would
to
you
that?
like to bet on that?
No, I would never bet on such a horrible
You
idea.
want to bet on a quarterback that's thrown 5 interceptions this season and 0 touchdowns?
I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen Mitchell Trubisky come in and beat the Cowboys. I never thought Mitchell Trubisky could beat anybody.
We definitely can't beat us. I know that. All right, so here's he just gave me a rundown of Dak's stats. Aaron.
Really quick, after this, can we talk about really briefly who I would like to coach the Dallas Cowboys next year? But after this. Okay, go ahead.
So we have 21 of 33.
Mm-hmm.
So well over
64%.
Yeah, well over 50%. Mm-hmm. Well over 60%. 243 yards.
Wow.
And 4 touchdowns.
Wow, he did a really good job in the snow.
Yeah, and in the on and off blizzard that was in the Big Apple this past weekend. But as far as you want to talk about coaching,
I really wish the Giants had a secondary and actually made that game somewhat close.
Well, Danny Dimes kind of helped by throwing 3 really easy picks.
Yeah,
well, one of them was a great play by Tremont, but Danny
Dimes is a rookie and needs.
Danny Dimes throws dimes to the defenders.
Hey, I mean, he could. At least he's not Jameis Winston, who, by the way, is 2-0 in the last 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. I mean, you saw the Jameis clip from last week. That was his worst play of that game, and they still managed to win. This past week, they go down to Jacksonville. Doesn't throw an interception.
Or a touchdown. Just throws a lot of yards.
Or a touchdown. Just had a bunch of yards and let Peyton Barber carry him to the win against Gardner Minshew, who was starting to raise a comeback, but then threw an interception in the end zone, and that was that.
Yeah. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a disappointment on defense and offense.
Your boy Magic Nick has not really saved them as much as you expected them to.
Magic Nick needs a little bit of protection.
He needs to get to the playoffs.
He needs a full season, and he needs a defense that just doesn't fall on its face like it did against the Titans. It fell on its face.
Yeah,
but that was 2 weeks ago. No one really cares about it.
Well, the Titans are playing good football right now. Tannehill is coming for that number 6 spot. They say the Steelers have it now, but there's no way the Duck keeps that spot. There's no way.
The Steelers are not making the playoffs.
So either the Browns are making a late push.
They are not making a late push.
They have 2 games against the Bengals. They have two times to win. They
lost last week. Baker Mayfield turned back into Baker Mayfield. I mean, sophomore season Baker Mayfield, not the rookie sensation that everyone was like, oh, God, it's Baker Mayfield. He's saving the Browns with these terrible receiving targets. Everyone before the offseason, the Browns, they're America's team because they have Odell and Jarvis and Baker and Nick Chubb and even Kareem Hunt, and the defense is so good, and we're going to win the Super Bowl. What is their record?
5-7.
Exactly. Your team is trash because your quarterback is trash.
Why are you saying it's my team?
And your quarterback is...
I showed you what my team was.
No. I'm the Browns. The Browns. Browns fans and bandwagons everywhere. Your team is trash because your quarterback cannot throw the football to Odell Beckham Jr. And your coach is freaking wearing the Steelers started t-shirt in public and giving the Steelers ammunition to come beat the brakes off you. So anyway, your coach is an idiot. Your quarterback is weird. He shaves off his mustache, looks like a convict. Yeah, it's bad. I wish you wouldn't have.
It is pretty ironic hearing that from you. You literally just went on this entire rant of how bad the Cowboys are, and you're gonna go and point out the flaws in the Browns, who, by the way, are 1 game behind you.
So basically,
the only difference is their division leader happens to be the best team in the AFC. And quite possibly the NFL.
Why is that ironic? They're just a little bit worse than the Cowboys record-wise. They're both bad teams. There's a similarity in the Browns. A lot of talent on the roster.
There is. I think we mentioned this already.
But they are really bad because their quarterback can't get it done. And their coaching is flawed.
There is one difference.
The only difference is the owner. The owner of the Browns has made a lot of very significant moves that have turned them from the 0-16 disaster to very relevant with a lot of really good good players on their team. But they need their quarterback to stop shooting 1,000 commercials, and they need a better coach.
Well, there also is another difference, and that's protection.
Protection and what, like pass blocking protection?
Because here's the thing. You have taken for granted for the longest time of how good that Dallas Cowboys offensive line is. Again, you want to talk about rookie sensation? Dak Prescott was insane his rookie year. 13-3.
Who's quarterback?
But anyway, Dak and Zeke were both rookie sensations. Zeke survived the sophomore jinx. Dak is now still suffering from it. Dude is what? Senior year now?
I think this is his 4th season. He is a veteran. He should not be having these struggles.
Yeah. Baker has obviously been hit by the sophomore jinx, but the biggest difference between him and Dak is that he does not have the same protection. He had Joe Thomas last year, and now he does not. He has about the same amount of talent around him as Dak Prescott does. He has I would say, a better defense. Obviously, he's hindered now because of the absence of Myles Garrett. But the offensive line and winning the battles in the trenches, Nick Chubb is the same style of runner as Zeke is. A great pass catcher, as is Kareem Hunt. Now they're running that dual running back set. with the offensive line that the Cowboys has in Cleveland, that team becomes a powerhouse.
I have a question.
I'm not saying that Baker's decision has been the best, but that game against the Steelers, every clutch down, he never had enough time to even think of making a decision.
I have a question.
Yes.
If their offensive line is so bad, why is Nick Chubb a top 5 rushing yard?
Because of Nick Chubb. Why was Saquon Barkley a top rusher last year? Did he have offensive line help? Absolutely not. He's a hell of an athlete.
There are running backs that, if you put them behind a really good offensive line, they look like studs.
Yeah.
But if you take that away...
Peyton Barber. Wait, is that a good offensive line? Okay, whatever. I completely
agree. I don't care who you are. If you don't have a good offensive line... I mean, Saquon...
Let's look at three.
Okay. Wait. Let me hold on. Saquon, the Giants' offensive line last year actually improved from the year before, and then they have regressed again this year. Mm-hmm. But they actually had a pretty decent running game. I'm saying if you have a bad offensive line that is just atrocious, I don't care who your running back is, he is not going to be a top 5.
Darius Geis has come in these past few weeks and put up some numbers for the
yeah, but Adrian Peterson was running well before he came back.
So what does that say about the offensive line? That offensive line is not good. There's a difference between an offensive line that can be good in run support and an offensive line that's good in pass protection.
Yeah, but see,
you
how
happen
many,
to have
how many
in Dallas
games, how many games?
3 All-Star or 3 Pro Bowlers on the offensive line that are good in both aspects.
They've got an old Pro Bowlers.
Let's point out 4 individual talents at the running back position that no matter who you put them in front, they have the ability to not only make people miss, get out of tackles,
LaShawn McCoy,
and put young Shady, but not now. Saquon, we know because we saw it last year. He's also been hit with a sophomore jinx, but also he's the team around him is just so atrocious, and he has no quarterback.
Barry Sanders.
We're talking about now.
Barry Sanders.
But yes, Barry Sanders was. Christian McCaffrey. No matter what's in front of him, dude's making somebody miss and cannot be stopped for more than 3 yards, with the exception of 4th and goal, to win the game or to tie the game. So,
I still don't know why they ran the football on 4th.
Because it's Christian McCaffrey. Why wouldn't you?
Because
you want to put the ball in Christian McCaffrey, a guy that rarely gets stopped for 2 yards.
Why would you run up the gut with Preston Smith and the other Smith and then the other 2 really good defensive line players on that roster instead of attacking their secondary, which has been known to be issues.
I would say the defense of those 2 tackles are less reliable than our secondary.
But they literally ran outside.
Yeah, they ran right towards Preston Smith.
Yeah, so that is a terrible play call. I could have called a better play than that.
I would think, if anything, maybe a fullback dive or something, go straight up the gut right at Kenny Clark, who's not a bum by any stretch of the imagination, but he's definitely not as good as the Smiths.
I'll tell you
or
who
as
is
good
a bum.
as any of the secondary.
I'll tell you who is a bum. Anyone besides Michael Bennett and DeMarcus Lawrence, who plays on that defensive line for the Cowboys, is considered a bum. Because they literally have a new guy on the defensive line every game, and I'm like, I've never heard of this guy before.
They just keep cycling him in.
They're just like, maybe this guy will work. Maybe this guy will work. Well, guess what? None of them are going to work.
DeMarcus Lawrence, Robert Quinn, Michael Bennett, and then the 4th guy that occasionally gets a tackle. Because mainly they're just there to occupy an offensive lineman, so Sean Lee and Leighton Vander Esch can go in and make the tackle because they just keep padding tackle stats.
There's a
but anyway,
I don't watch the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what the protection looks like. I just look like whenever Baker does get protection, he has made some really pathetic decisions and a lot of really pathetic.
Not really. When he's making get protection, he's making some good reads.
When I watch Baker Mayfield, there's a lot of double clutching, pumping, indecisive with the football. That might be Odell being there, but still, why would you be indecisive if you're trying to force the ball to Odell Beckham Jr.?
Well, that last game, I don't know what it was about the Steelers' defense. The Steelers' defense had them locked up. Maybe it's the fact that we may never see a Browns quarterback win in Heinz Field in the near future. We thought Baker was going to do it even without having Ben Roethlisberger this season, but it still didn't happen. But I've noticed that sometimes, but most of the time when he has some form of protection, he's been able to make a decent read. Against the Bills, when they were going down to try to win that game, he had one throw that he made. It was a corner route to Jarvis Landry that he dropped in there. Jarvis Landry turned around and made a great catch, but it was a perfectly thrown football right where only Jarvis can make a play. Fast forward one more week.
I am listening.
Fast forward one more week against they won 3 straight. So it was the Bills, then it was the Steelers, then it was who they play last week. before the Steelers.
They played this.
It was Steelers, somebody, Steelers. Dolphins, against Dolphins. Jarvis Landry's second touchdown, where he had to come back for the football. Baker threw it up and let Jarvis go and make a play on it. That was a back foot throw rolling out to his right because the protection broke down and flushed him out. If that protection is getting flustered by the Miami Dolphins pass rush, I still don't understand how this team beat the Ravens.
All I know is that man has 15 touchdowns, well, I guess 16 touchdowns and 15 interceptions, and the fumbles make him have more turnovers than touchdowns.
I'm going to look that up. You can keep talking right now. I'm going to look up that stat. To fact check you.
It might
because Jameis is leading the league in turnovers.
Yes, obviously he's leading the league in turnovers. Yes, but I pulled it up because I really wanted to know because I liked Baker and then I was like, really, Baker? I mean, it's my by the way, my criticism of Baker is just my frustration because I was like, wow, Baker is actually pretty good, and the NFL needs really good quarterbacks because the era of strong quarterbacking in this league is coming to a close.
You had the old strong guys. You had old Phillip Rivers.
Romo, Tom Brady, Eli Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan.
That whole era is coming to a close. You need these
Peyton
young
Manning, Andrew Luck was in that era. Like they're all Drew Brees. They're all going to be gone.
But think about this: when all of those aged guys are gone, if you have a league full of mediocre talent, it might actually make it competitive.
But then you have
Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, and it throws a damper into the entire thing. The AFC may actually reign supreme once more. But let me finish my running back argument, then we'll go into the QB rankings. So we'll actually find out all these stats. But anyway, so we had Saquon, CMC. The other one was going to be Nick Chubb, because like it or not, the dude was putting up insane numbers.
No, I like Nick Chubb.
And if you've noticed,
and Kareem Hunt comes in and he's having a pretty.
Kareem Hunt is taking advantage of his touches more than Nick Chubb is.
By the way, Kareem Hunt, if you're in a PPR league, I would grab Kareem Hunt and put him in your playoff.
Yes, because he's getting everything. I wish they had point per rush because that would be a gold mine. But yeah, having the two running backs,
if they had points per rush, that would break the game.
You don't know which one of them is going to get the carry. Which you got to give Freddie Kitchens credit for incorporating both of them into an offensive
I'll give him
set
credit
like
for going 5-7 and wearing a Pittsburgh started T-shirt to a movie.
The last one is Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott, we thought was just a fluke his rookie year because of the offensive line, but he's shown consistency after his sophomore year.
I don't think anyone thought that he was a fluke.
He has shown some. Oh, we knew he was insane because when he came out of Ohio State,
he had 1,800 yards rushing, almost broke Eric Dickerson's record. I'm just saying, no one thought he was a fluke.
Yeah, but they knew he was getting a lot of help from the offensive line.
Yes, but they
that
didn't say,
offensive line
has
stayed consistent.
It wasn't Peyton Hillis. Peyton Hillis one good year and then he fell off a cliff. It wasn't a Peyton Hillis.
No, it wasn't that. But yeah, so those are guys that no matter who you put them on, one of them just happens to have an offensive line. No matter who you put them on, they're making plays.
And
that's why Nick Chubb is still making plays, even though the offensive line in Cleveland is not that good.
I want to add in Alvin Kamara just because he's flashy and can.
That is true, but that offensive line is good.
Yes.
Those are two of the best tackles.
But he's got the jump cut and the quick speed.
And if you want to add Alvin Kamara, I would also say add Aaron Jones to start the season.
He's a power back. He can't he can break tackles, but if you have four guys in the backfield, he's not making any one of them miss.
He's making a few of them, but not like you're right. He's running through people more than he is going around them. That's why I would say if you're going to compare Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb's going through you. Kareem Hunt can go through you, but he can also go over you. He's done that repeatedly. He's done both. So,
but I mean, the best running back in the NFL right now is Lamar Jackson. It's not even close.
and Mark Ingram, like literally the two double wildcat formation, and one of them just happens to be able to throw. Mm-hmm. So speaking of Lamar Jackson, he of course is. So we have talked about those running backs. We talked a little bit about the protection in Cleveland. There's a big difference between how well an offensive line run blocks and how well an offensive line pass blocks. Run blocking is all about being bigger. If you're bigger and you get a good push off the ball, off the snap, then you can open up holes. Pass blocking is all about technique. If you're getting beat on your technique by speedster like now, there's some defensive ends like the Bosa's and Mac. Yes,
you need really good. You need a center and quarterback that are on the same page that are making out calls before the line snap, and everyone needs to be on the same page.
That is true. Mm-hmm. That's why you have Zach Martin as your center.
Travis Frederick, and he wasn't even. And you know what? That might be a thing because the Cowboys' offensive line has not been as good as they were in the past. And I think it comes down to Travis Frederick. He missed a whole year of football because he had some sort of nerve disease or something in his shoulder. And I still think that he is, getting used to, calling
Yeah.
calling protections again because he was a year out of football. And I think the offensive line has been hit or miss. I think it was okay last night. Like Khalil Mack only got one sack and
Khalil Mack's hard to stop, but I don't care who you are.
Yeah, but it was okay, but I think that might be Tyron Smith being like 34 years old now.
I said you had a great offensive line for a lot of years.
It's just a lot of old. Like they're getting a little bit older. Offensive linemen, they're hard to.
Yeah.
They have a short life expectancy in the league anyway. So, but yeah.
Like the center for the Browns is J.C. Treader. He's an ex-Packer. He played under Corey Linsley, and Corey Linsley is known for leading one of the best pass blocking lines in the NFL, and that being the Packers one.
Another
because
example.
you let Aaron Rodgers navigate the pocket. They kept protection up for like 5 or 6 seconds. He hasn't had the same talent around him in Cleveland. And it's not that the calls are off. Obviously, when you keep sending a bunch of pressure, like the fact that they were able to hold off the Bills showed that they had a good game protection that time. But the Steelers, they could not stop the dual edge threat of T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree. Whenever it came down to a clutch down, they were letting both of those get through. And those are weaknesses at the tackles. A tackle that used to consist of Joe Thomas, but he retired, and the guy that's filled in for him is nowhere near the skill level that guy is.
Another example is New England Patriots. I know that I know the
Give
viewers,
credit where credit's due.
I know the viewers hate when we defend the Tom Brady, but their starting center is injured. He's on injured reserve right now. They have a rookie center trying to, calling the play, calling the protection. That's a recipe for disaster.
And that offensive line has sucked this year.
Yeah, they don't have
that whole offense is.
They don't have their main
right
guy.
now.
Their main guy is hurt right now.
Exactly.
So Tom Brady's getting more pressure, and honestly, he's probably. If I were Tom Brady, I'd be pissed. No protection, no dual threat receiver, and I literally have Julian Edelman and James White.
Literally, if you can get a game plan like for the Chiefs, I don't know who their number one corner is, but I feel like I should know his name. But they have those two safeties. They have the Honey Badger and they have Daniel Sorensen.
Is it Marcus Peters?
No, Peters is in Baltimore.
Oh,
anyway,
he used to be.
Anyway, Honey Badger. Watch the middle on every single third down. That's where they're going.
Or they're running a swing pass to James White out of the backfield.
That's all you have to watch. Literally, camp the Honey Badger in the middle of the field. He will probably have at least one interception against Tom Brady on a third down. Because as soon as third down comes, he's not going to Sanu because he doesn't trust Sanu as much. He's going to his workhorse, and Julian Edelman is going across the middle every single time.
And it'll probably be opened most of the time, too.
Unfortunately. So there's our breakdown of that, and we were talking a little bit about quarterbacks. So we're actually going to go through the quarterback ranking that they have on NFL.com. This is just on the NFL mobile app, so anyone can see these. We're just going to go ahead and break these down, and then we'll get into a little bit of college football, and then we'll call it a Christmas break. We probably won't be uploading again until the new year because as of next week, we're going to be heading back to our humble dwellings. He's going back to Austin. I'm going back to the 500-person town of Sunbury, North Carolina. But so as soon as we get back in the new year, we will be uploading again. But without further ado, he stole my phone.
I think Aaron Rodgers is too high.
Just kidding. What are you talking about?
Just kidding.
I'm thinking Dak is way too high, and I'm sure you're thinking the same thing too. So we'll go ahead and do this. We have the MVP candidate, frontrunner, Lamar Jackson. Cool. We'll just go through the stats that he's got. 66.5%, 2532 passing yards, 25 passing touchdowns, 5 picks, almost 1,000 rushing yards, 977, 7 rushing touchdowns.
On pace to break Michael Vick's single-season rushing yard record.
Wasn't it like 1,200?
Yeah, but he's gonna
break that easy.
He's gonna get it.
Break that easy, and then especially if he keeps averaging like 100 rushing yards a game, and then 7 rushing touchdowns and 1 lost fumble.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. This is okay. Hey Dak, this is what working on your craft looks like. Lamar Jackson. He was a run-based quarterback with a weak passing game. Off-season works his tail off. 66% completions, passing very well, making quick decisions, getting the ball out on time and accurately. Only 5 interceptions. Like this kid's unbelievable.
Doing his job.
He's
and
unbelievable.
Doing it well. And give credit to John Harbaugh for making a system that's fit with him. That pistol formation has been lethal this entire year. So second, Russell Wilson, number 2 in the MVP race, literally carrying his team on his back at this point.
That's not what you said a few weeks ago, but we're not.
No, I've known that. I've known that he's been doing that. I just didn't think he was worthy of the MVP.
I
Lamar
thought
Jackson.
you were being rude to him and saying that he was throwing bad interceptions.
Well, a volleyball spike is a bad interception. I don't know what he was trying to do on that.
He got fooled. I mean, he got fooled.
He's like, I got somebody.
He got fooled.
Oh, it got picked? Oops.
He got fooled.
Usually you knock the ball into the ground, not up, so it can get picked.
No, not that one. That one, okay. Like I told you a few days ago, if Lamar Jackson...
Oh, you're talking about the one against the Niners?
If Lamar Jackson had done that and it wasn't complete, what would we be saying right now?
If Lamar Jackson had done it and it was interception, if it was picked off, they would have called it like that's just a young quarterback making an error.
Or the fact that
Russell Wilson's a veteran and made a mistake like that, and it wound up turning into a pick, not only a pick but a pick six.
I think he was just trying to get the ball on the ground because honestly, that ball would have probably been intercepted anyway.
Well,
it was hanging so high in the air.
It was hanging right over his offensive lineman, so he had a chance to catch it. I don't know. Either way, we don't know what was going through his head.
We don't need to argue about.
We don't need to argue what was going through another man's head.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about.
So he's got 67% completions, 31.77 passing yards, 26 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 284 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 2 lost fumbles. Number 3.
Has Lamar has 1 fumble?
Lamar has 1 lost.
1 fumble, and I watched that fumble live.
It was this past weekend against the Niners. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Deshaun Watson recently up to number 3 after taking down Tom Brady for the first time in his young NFL career.
Is he number 3 because he has just like 2 or 3 more touchdowns than picks in his whole career?
Well, not this season. You obviously haven't looked at these numbers. 69.2% completion percentage, 31-33 passing yards, 23 passing touchdowns, 7 picks, 300 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns, 3 fumbles lost, and 1 receiving touchdown.
Hold on.
That happened this past weekend with Nuke Hopkins.
I'm gonna try and pull it up because it was a banner on the Monday. When did they play? Sunday night or Monday night? Sunday night.
Oh, the graphic?
The graphic. They had the graphic up. And I remember looking at it and I was like, this doesn't sound right. Because it had Mitchell Trubisky and
all right, but while you look for that, I'll keep going. So number 4, my homeboy. 64%, and this is only in 10 games because he missed 2. So 64% completions, 2983 passing yards, 20 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 166 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and 2 fumbles lost. He had his first rushing touchdown this past week against the Raiders. That blowout win against the Raiders. Number 5, my boy Aaron. 64% completion percentage, which is way up from last year. 3,065 passing yards, 22 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions that I might add were both deflected. 1 was dropped.
Wait, have you moved on to Aaron Rodgers?
That's what I said.
Okay.
This is who we're talking about now.
Sorry. I'm
146 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, but 3 lost fumbles.
I think he throws. How many times has he thrown the football away? Did they include that stat?
No, it's 64.4%. But the one stat that they did bring is he's completing 17%. Oh no, he's completing nearly a quarter of his passes behind the line of scrimmage.
I could have sworn I took a picture of that.
So it's some checkdowns that are happening, but some of them are swing passes to Jamal Williams or Aaron Jones that are working out and just moving down the field pretty quickly.
Correct.
Quick decision making. So, at number 6, for some reason, Dak Prescott.
I'm not gonna speak.
But I do not see. Oh, and they literally have a week 1 through 11 and week 12 and 13. Oh, this should be interesting.
I'm so sorry. I misspoke. He has 1 less interception than Mitchell Trubisky. He has a lot more touchdowns, obviously, because you have to be pathetic to throw the same. But unless you're Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
But he has 1 less pick than Trubisky. That's what I meant to say.
Well, think about this. He also missed like half of his rookie season.
Right, but that doesn't keep you from turning the football over.
That's true.
But yeah, my apologies. I would never disrespect Deshaun Watson in any way. I wish he was my quarterback.
So, the wrong part of Texas. So we have Dak Prescott, 66.7, exactly 2/3 completion percentage, 37.88 passing yards, 23 passing touchdowns, 11 interceptions, the first double-digit interception numbers we've seen, 222 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 1 lost fumble. In weeks 1 through 11, 322 yards passing per game, 8.8 yards per attempt, and a 104.1 passer rating. Weeks 12 and 13, 283.5 yards passing, 6.9 yards per attempt, 80.7 passer rating.
So in other words, it is drops.
He literally has a 5-4 touchdown interception ratio.
Exactly, against good teams. Against good teams, his touchdown to pick ratio is literally even.
I don't know why he's ranked so high. That is a question.
Statistical flaw.
Right below him, your boy First Cousins.
It's all about eye test. See, in First Cousins' case, I think he has looked a lot better than Dak Prescott. And the whole game, he was balling the whole game against Dallas and against the Seahawks. Yeah. They had a chance to win if his dumbass receiver doesn't drop the ball, caroms off him, is picked, and then the fumble by Dalvin Cook.
Don't you hate it when you have a chance to win the game and it's deflected and intercepted?
Look, man,
it's not like that happened against a particular Bird team at Lambeau Field in week 4.
You don't have to go to games that were 6 weeks ago. We don't care about them anymore. Look, Aaron, I'm not even trashing Aaron today. He won. We should be celebrating.
We did. That's why I brought it out.
Oh, well.
That's why I brought it out.
See, the real
31-13.
The real green and yellow or green and gold team is up here.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
We don't need to see whatever this is. And by the way,
number 7, Kirk Cousins. We'll try to go through this quicker so we can touch on college football a little bit for the big weekend of championships, and our Baylor Bears do have a chance to get into the CFP.
And the Utah, whatever their names are,
they're literally the Utah Utes.
Yeah, guys, we don't want the Utah Utes in the college football playoff.
University Utes.
Yeah. Can we just
12 games, 69%, 3,000, whatever they want to get to Bakers, I can call you out on that stat.
First Cousins.
So we'll just go through a top 10. 23 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 50 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown.
Wait, how about I guess who the top 10 is based on their stats?
All right, number 8. What do you think?
Well, based on their stats.
All right, stats. 7 games.
Yep.
That should tell you exactly who it is. We're in week 12. No, scratch that. We're in week 13.
7 games. Can't be. Is Minshew? It can't be Minshew.
No, it's not.
Did Tannehill play 7 games?
73.8% completion.
You said he's only played 7 games.
7 games.
Oh, Bridgewater?
1,791. Wrong Saints QB.
Oh, Drew.
Yeah. 1,791 passing yards, 12 passing touchdowns in 7 games. Not bad at all.
Sorry, some people.
4 interceptions and 0 rushing touchdowns, 0 fumbles lost.
Yeah, Drew Brees. Good man.
All right. Number 9. Only 8 games played. 72.7%, 1,602 passing yards, 12 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 128 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 3 fumbles.
Sounds like Teddy Bridgewater to me.
It is not.
How many
AFC South. AFC South played 8 games.
It's Minshew? No?
No, it's not Minshew.
How many freaking quarterbacks have been hurt this year?
Ryan Tannehill.
He hasn't played. He's played 8 games.
Yeah, looks that way.
There's no way he's played 8 games.
They benched him pretty early, if you remember.
So, did he start the year?
No. Marcus Mariota started the year.
When did they bench him?
Apparently week 4.
Okay. I thought he played longer. This is what happens.
They have a 5-1 record with him playing, so he's played in 6 games.
Yes, he definitely deserves to be in the top 10.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Number 10, 12 games played, 69%, 69%. That's your hint. 2,896 passing yards, 21 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 46 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 5 fumbles lost.
Sounds like Jimmy G.
It is. It is porn star Jimmy. That's why I said 69. So there's your top 10. Outside of we go. Baker Mayfield. Number 19. 60%, 2,917 passing yards, 15 passing touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 84 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 2 fumbles lost. So at the end of the day, he still has 1 more touchdown than turnovers. I'm not saying that's bad.
Are you satisfied with your 60% completion?
But I'm not saying that's good.
From last year. For the kids growing up in this era, I'm really sorry. When we were growing up, we had really good quarterback play.
Yeah, we had the Super Bowls that were fought between ageless wonders like Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers, Eli Manning when he was still good, Tom Brady, Joe Flacco, Drew Brees.
Joe Flacco.
These were the people that were in the Super Bowls as we were watching football, and now we've regressed to watching
Jared Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff blow. And Nick Foles winning Super Bowls.
Hey, Nick Foles is the man.
And Cody Parkey losing playoff games.
Nick Foles got his money.
He did.
Which is all he deserved.
He earned every dime that he made. But anyway, for the last about 5 or 6 minutes, we're going to talk a little bit about college football. And this goes into the new generation of quarterbacks coming into the NFL. Right now, we have Joe Burrow at the number 2 spot right now. Everyone thought that LSU was going to take over the number 1 spot after a dominating performance against A&M.
They should have.
No, they shouldn't have. Here's why. This isn't bias related.
Oh, it's still.
But Ohio State.
Wait, who did Ohio State play again?
Michigan.
Oh, wait.
On the road. Okay. And blew them out.
Yeah.
Ohio State blew out a ranked team, ranked number 13, on the road. LSU really hosted an unranked team and blew them out. They were supposed to.
Is Michigan even that good? Let's be honest.
They're ranked 13. Their ranked showed they were good. It gave them a resume.
Okay.
And they still dominated them every aspect of the ball. Whether it was pass, rush, you put up 56 points. Okay? 55. Mm-hmm. Run, pass, whatever it was, defense, it was dominated by Ohio State that entire game. LSU, of course they dominated. They played A&M. A&M is terrible. 7-4, I wouldn't say that's 7. They're 7-5 now. They're still bowl eligible, but they were unranked and on the road at Death Valley. If LSU lost in Death Valley, they wouldn't even have been in the top 10.
Guess how many minutes I watched of the Michigan and Ohio State game.
You watched the first 6 and were texting me like, "Oh, Ohio State's gonna lose." Michigan scored first, and then since then, Ohio State's score went like this, and Michigan stayed right there.
I think it was actually close at the end of the first quarter, but I stopped watching.
Yeah, it was probably 7-6.
I stopped watching because I decided, you know what, I don't need to watch this game because it's just boring. I don't want to.
Whatever. So, Ohio State's number 1 right now. LSU is number 2. 2 teams that I'm kind of hoping that will keep those spots and will eventually play for the championship to see who is actually the Heisman candidate. And I wish they would wait to make their Heisman decision until after the championship because we should literally let Chase Young, Justin Fields,
Joe Burrow is the Heisman winner, and it is over. And I don't care what you say about Justin Fields. Joe Burrow has a better resume, and he's going to win.
Justin Fields has been dominating. I'll tell you.
See,
they both have
Ohio State bias.
They both have been putting up
Chase Young. You're really going to say that Chase Young deserves Heisman consideration?
Well, he is getting Heisman consideration.
Right, but you're really saying he has a shot.
I wouldn't say he has a shot.
He has probably a 0.5% chance of winning the Heisman.
I was going to say, it's probably going to come down to Justin Fields versus Joe Burrow. That's basically what it's coming down to.
Justin Fields isn't even in the conversation, is he?
He kind of is. Him and I don't know if J.K. Dobbins was or not, but I think Dobbins was another one that was reached the conversation. So that's 3 Ohio State Buckeyes that maybe it wasn't Chase Young that was in the conversation. Maybe it was J.K. Dobbins.
And none of them have a shot.
I'm just saying it's going to be close. It's going to be a tight race between Fields.
To Justin Fields at this point, it would be very disrespectful.
It's going to be because he would have beat him in the championship.
But when did they give the?
I wish that's why I said I wish they would wait until after the CFP because in that case, Kyler Murray might not have gotten it, even though I'm pretty sure he deserved it in every aspect of the word.
When did they give out the?
They give it before the CFP actually starts.
Right, so he should
it's all
win
regular
it
season
anyway.
He probably.
There is no. nobody.
I'm just glad that the college football playoff did not bias LSU as and put them number one just because Joe Burrow's on that team.
But honestly, nobody besides you is making the case for Justin Fields over Joe Burrow.
Well, it's not just Justin Fields. It's also J.K. Dobbins. That's also playing.
But it's a quarterback award.
Unfortunately, it's like the MVP.
Yeah.
It's like the MVP should go to CMC above all else, but it's probably going to go to. It's not going to go to Mahomes. It's both. I wouldn't say it should go to CMC, but early in the league, he was definitely the front runner for it. But then Lamar Jackson started going off in a league of his own. So CMC still I think is in the conversation, but it's probably going to be Lamar Jackson's to lose. Him and Russell Wilson are going to be dueling it out, but they got to throw that one. Like a couple years ago when it was Tom Brady versus Todd Gurley for the MVP, that award should have gone to Todd Gurley. No question. No question that was Todd Gurley's award. And they gave it to Tom Brady. You know why? Because he's Tom Brady.
I'm not arguing what you're saying. I'm just saying we went back to the NFL after transitioning.
Well, no, it was topic about the awards.
I thought we were talking about the CFP.
We were talking about the Heisman. Anyway, so right now, Ohio State number 1, LSU 2. Yeah. Currently, Ohio State would be hosting Clemson, and LSU would be hosting, scratch that, Ohio State would be hosting Georgia if the season were to end today, and LSU would be hosting Clemson. They all have their championships. So Ohio State will be playing against Wisconsin. They already beat them 31-6 earlier this season.
This will be a cakewalk.
Ohio State's going to win that game. Easy. LSU is playing Georgia. If Georgia wins, it throws off any other team in the top 10's chance of getting into the CFP.
Because LSU will be number 4.
Because LSU will still remain in that top. They might drop to 3, and then Clemson takes number 2. Because Clemson's playing Virginia in their conference championship. There's no way they're losing that. Mm-hmm. And if they do, it would be amazing and Clemson would get knocked out. Because there would be no way they stay in the top, in the top 4.
Clemson is not losing.
I doubt they are. So, LSU versus Georgia. LSU's most likely going to win that game, which means Georgia's now on the chopping block for that number 4 spot, which their one loss was to an unranked team. So the fact that they're having so much leeway with their schedule is kind of, again, shows the CFP SEC bias. But 3 teams below them are Pac-12, Utah, for the first time in who knows how long they've actually been considered. Big 12, Oklahoma, and then Big 12, Baylor. It's 6 versus 7 tomorrow at noon. Basically, here's the rundown. Obviously, show them your hat.
They see my hat. It's been on the screen the whole video.
BU. We have a chance. We've already made history as being the first school in college football history to make a rebound from 1-11 to 11-1 in a matter of 2 seasons.
1-11.
Yeah.
7-6.
Second year after that.
11-1.
Second year after that. That's in 2 years.
Right. I'm just
It's the third year of Matt Rule. It's the third year of Matt Rule.
Mm-hmm. That's your timeline.
Yeah, a fantastic turnaround, the likes of which has never been seen before.
And also, he didn't know if that Baylor existed before he came here. And let's be
I knew Baylor existed because
this defense that we have right now, this defense. I mean, obviously, I'm biased for sure because I go here, but there's no way in heck that I think that Baylor has a chance at winning the college football championship.
No, I don't think either.
There's no way, but this defense that they have right now can keep them in a close game.
This defense that we have
now,
now,
if their offense comes to play, they can stay within striking distance.
If the defense gets enough quality rest during the game, because we're gonna go Utah plays tonight against Oregon. That game is anyone's game because Oregon fell to number 13 just because they lost against.
You win.
Just because they lost to Arizona. They dropped a ton because Arizona's unranked. They dropped from 6 all the way down to 13. They stubbed their toe and it kind of killed them. But it could come back to kill Utah because Pac-12 championship tonight at 7 Central.
Yep, Oregon is playing spoiler, and they want to play spoiler.
Yep, I do think Oregon's the better team, but it's not going to be a pushover for either team. So we need Utah to lose, but if Utah does win, then it goes to the resume comparison. So if we break it down, Utah's quality wins, they have Oregon. 0. They would have Oregon. That's it.
That's a top 25 team. That's one.
That is a 25 team. Our top 25 wins include Kansas State and Oklahoma State, both on the road wins.
And
then we would have a win against Oklahoma. Because here's the deal.
Iowa State.
I think Iowa State counts.
Iowa State is a quality win too.
Because here's what, in case you guys forgot, that happened a couple weeks ago.
To the committee, Texas would be a quality win as well.
They would say it is.
The committee loves Texas.
The committee does love Texas, but
so they're
terrible.
No, I'm just saying, like, oh, Texas, it's the mainstream school in Texas. But yeah, so that should be considered a quality win as well.
I don't think it is, but yes, it should. So as far as the resume is concerned, we would, and then that would also include a win over Oklahoma if we were to pull it off, and that would change the dynamic too.
Yeah, so basically we just need everything to
that's
go
beating
as
that's beating a higher ranked team than you, and Utah would have beat a lower ranked team.
Yes, all we need to do, what needs to happen is everything just needs to happen as it should.
If everything happens as it should,
and then we win our game.
and we win.
But also, it comes down to whether or not the playoff committee wants a team in there that obviously had their scandal and then had the publicity. And I mean, you heard it. Baylor's had zero respect this entire season
because we were struggling against bad teams. That was happening the whole year. They were tolerating us because we were still undefeated. That was happening for the longest time. Then we come out against Oklahoma and do indeed go out to a 28-3 lead.
Let's not bring out.
We don't want to bring that up. Here's the thing, though. Game was close. Came down to a last-minute Jalen Hurts play.
No, it
came
down to
an interception by Charlie
It came
Brewer.
down to a last-minute Madden-like
interception. Either way, teams are evenly matched. They say that Oklahoma's a 10-point favorite.
That's wrong.
They also said that they were a 10-point favorite last time, and they only won by 3.
The odds makers are whack. Don't listen to them.
There's no way they are 10 points. They're a 10-point favorite in this game.
Yeah. The one thing that worries me is that this is at a neutral site.
That actually makes me feel confident.
Well, you don't know how bad Baylor travels. I know for a fact that there will be plenty of Oklahoma fans in that stadium. I am not sure how many Baylor fans will be there.
Most of the students here are going.
Okay, but you have the students compared to the Oklahoma students, and then Oklahoma alumni that will be pouring in as well. I'm just saying Baylor doesn't travel well. And plus, they're not. Let's not forget that Oklahoma is the state school of Oklahoma. And despite what you think, there's literally nobody in Norman. But I'm guaranteeing that everyone
in Norman is going down to Dallas for this weekend.
Yes.
All we're gonna say really is Jerry's making a ton of money on this right now.
Oh, hey, Jerry doesn't care that his team actually does care, but he's happy because he's making a lot more money. He's basically having 2 venues this weekend. He's gonna make double the amount of money that he would have.
So
help pay for that tax when he bites the bullet.
So all things considered, Big Ten goes to Ohio State, SEC goes to LSU, drops Georgia out. These are predictions anyway. Pac-12 goes to Oregon. Oregon already has 2 losses. They would be out of conversation. And then it's a matter of who in the Big 12 wins it and takes their spot. And that would be one of the first times in a while that there's been 4 teams, one from each conference, two SEC teams, a Big Ten team, and then an ACC team.
That is what the playoff is supposed to be.
That's what it is supposed to be. But they always flood it with SEC teams.
Yeah, and by the way, if the playoff committee, let's say that the playoff committee left out, I don't know. There could be some crazy things that they could do, but let's just say that Baylor wins and Utah loses and LSU beats Georgia and Baylor doesn't get in.
Don't know how it could possibly happen.
There should be some heavy consideration on changing that playoff format.
You know who takes it? Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Because if you look at the AP poll, they have Florida ranked above Baylor.
But we don't care about the AP poll. It doesn't matter.
No, we don't.
So it's fine.
Anyway, thanks for watching this episode of Dinkin and Dakin. Kind of longer than we were planning on doing it, and it's gonna be Matt literally is knocking on his wall. But thanks for watching this episode. Like we said, it's gonna be a while since we're gonna be able to post again, not until the new year. And from here at Baylor, we wish you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and as always, keep dinking, dacking, and bickering. We'll see you guys in the new year.